allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rugged red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Well, welcome everyone. That is a tough act to follow. I'm Jeff Say, President and CEO of the Culpeper Chamber of Commerce. Please be seated. And we would like to welcome you to our 5th annual Appreciation and Valor Awards. I always say that I love every event that we do, but I have 3 children, so I know what it's like to play favorites. But each one of our events is like a child to me, and they always have a special meaning. And this one, to me, is one of the most heartwarming because we get to say thank you to our first responders, our volunteer fire department, our law enforcement, those that are answering the calls, our ambulances, our EMS services. Those are the people that rush in when we rush out. They are neighbors helping neighbors. And it is always so special for me to be able to say thank you for being able to serve us. And you do it so selfishly. And I think that a lot in times in our country and in this era, that gets lost. So I just want to take a moment to say thank you to all of our first responders. You are the reason we are here this evening. I would now like to take a moment to invite our elected officials to stand so you can be recognized. So all of our elected officials, will you please stand?
Hey, Dave.
Thank you for your service. And now I would like all of our first responders here this evening to stand to receive a round of applause. Thank you to all of our first responders for everything that you do. It is now my sincere pleasure to introduce the chaplain of Culpeper County Volunteer Fire Department Company 1, R.E. Dean, to lead us in our invocation.
Let us pray. Almighty God, how great it is to be here tonight, assembled with these people that are supporting the ones that make a difference in our community. Now, Father, bless this food to our bodies and us to thy service. And let us ever be mindful of the needs of others. For it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
That's okay, because you don't know what was about to happen. So all of our first responders are going to receive a challenge coin, except for one, because we have something special for the longest reigning volunteer in our midst, and that would be Mr. R.E. Dean.
Thank you, sir.
R.E. Dean has served our community for 63 years. That's longer than I've been around. I don't know if you can figure that one out, but he's a decorated U.S. Navy veteran, having served from 1952 to 1956. In 1959, he joined the Culpeper Volunteer Fire Department. He's a life member and trustee of VFW Post 2524. He's a 41-year lifetime member of Midday Lions Club, and he received the International Melvin Jones Fellowship, the highest award in the Lions Club. He served on Culpeper Town Council for 14 years. 2.5 of those years, he was our vice mayor. He was appointed chaplain of Culpeper Volunteer Fire Department, of which we've seen he's so aptly able to do. He was the Grand Marshal of the 4th of July Parade. He is a member of the Culpeper Cable Commission. He is a charter member of the Salem Ruritan Club. In 2019, R.E. was awarded the Culpeper Colonel Award, and he has gone above and beyond the call of citizenship in service to Culpeper County. And he is an active member of the Culpeper Volunteer Fire Department Company 1 for 63 years and is the oldest living member. I present to you Mr. R.E. Dean, and R.E., we have something special for you.
I'm weak in the knees, fella. Thank you so very much. Ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate this. Don't know how much I appreciate it, and I'm going to continue to give back as long as I make it. Thank you.
R.E. was one of the first people I met when I moved to Culpeper 18 years ago. So for me, that was a very special award to give. 63 years is an incredible amount of time to be able to serve our community. Speaking of serving, you'll note to my left that there is a special table reserved. In the United States Armed Forces, there is a tradition of military banquets where a separate table is set with a place setting and a cover of a military service member. The cover and place setting remind those in attendance of our departed comrades and friends who served their country with honor but have passed on to a better place. Tonight, the Culpeper County Chamber of Commerce Valor Awards ceremony continues that tradition. To my left, you will see a table with a place setting and a candle. The place setting and candle represent not only our comrades and friends that have fallen, but those that cannot be with us tonight due to ill health. Let us remember those that have passed away and that are near and dear to our hearts as we light a candle for them. Tonight, we honor Culpeper County Sheriff's Office Captain James Anthony Tony Sisk. Captain Sisk died in the line of duty October 1st, 2021 at Inova Fair Oaks Hospital in Fairfax, Virginia. A Culpeper County resident, Captain Sisk is survived by his wife Eileen Francis and daughters Sarah Bullard and Haley Sisk. Captain Sisk, 50, a Culpeper native, graduated from Culpeper County High School in 1990 and entered his lifelong career in law enforcement in 1994. His career was marked by continued education and advancement in law enforcement. He was well known as a veteran instructor in firearm usage, being both knowledgeable and proficient in the field. He was also well known in the community. Every community event that you could imagine, Captain Sisk was almost always there. And it has still been hurting my heart to not see him at those events. At his death, Captain Sisk was the commander of the Culpeper County Sheriff's Office Patrol Division and also supervised the civil process operations. Tonight, lighting the candle in his memory will be Culpeper County Sheriff Scott Jenkins. Sheriff Jenkins. Thank you, Sheriff Jenkins. I would like to start with a special presentation made by our good friends, Jonathan Krawchuk and Nicole Wooten over at Culpeper Media Network. They have put together a wonderful video of appreciation for this evening for our first responders. So I please direct your attention to the big screen and the appreciation video done by Culpeper Media Network.
The heartbeat of our community is our healthcare workers and our first responders.
They work very hard for the community, and I just don't know that they realize how much they are appreciated.
We know the hours that you've put in, the stress that you've dealt with, and we appreciate you.
All the hard work that people have had to put in extra, they deserve a thank you.
You're so busy studying and you're so busy doing your skill sets.
Why we do this job, why we come to work every day, why we are involved the way that we are. Because we take pride in our community and we want our community to take pride in us.
People need to understand it's not for everyone, but it can be for you. If you have a passion to want to help people is the biggest thing.
We need to recognize these people because they represent the true fabric of what Culpeper is made of. When it comes to neighbor helping neighbor, stepping up in the time of need, that's Culpeper.
I can be to somebody that I would want for me if I were in that situation.
That's what the fire department's all about, is helping.
I just love the feeling that I get when I help somebody.
Just being able to respond and know that you're going to help somebody is probably the best feeling.
So I mean, it's a good feeling.
They're here to provide a service for you, to take care of you in your time of need, and neighbors helping neighbors.
Our entire mission statement is to make Culpeper a better, safer place for people to live, to work, and to visit.
The Culpeper Sheriff's Office is proud of our dedicated employees and the range of service we provide to keep Culpeper safe.
These folks are compassionate. They have a deep-rooted sense of giving to those in need in times of trouble.
Their commitment and caring embrace toward our citizens make Culpeper what it is today.
We appreciate all you do. You've done a tremendous job in difficult times in this community, and we are so very proud of you.
Gone way above and beyond in trying to keep us all safe and healthy.
And they've remained true to their mission, and I just think the community can't thank these folks enough.
A great sense of gratitude, and we appreciate it. We thank you for everything you do.
It just warms my heart to know that they're out there working for us, and I just want to always thank them from the bottom of my heart every time I see them.
You put yourselves in harm's way every day to make sure the rest of us get the care we desperately need when we are at our worst.
We are so fortunate to have the care that's been provided to us through all of you, your hard work, your extra hours, the unbelievable amount of overtime that you're putting in. So thank you from my heart.
Please know we appreciate everything you continue to do for our community.
Just a heartfelt appreciation because you certainly have made a difference in so many people's lives. Thank you ever so much for being who you are, because you really are making a difference.
We truly are Culpeper strong. And I've said it time and again that there is no place like Culpeper, Virginia, and we are blessed to be here in this community and with these first responders who rush in when we rush out. And as a sign of our appreciation, we mentioned earlier that every first responder in Culpeper County is going to receive a challenge coin. We have printed 1,000 challenge coins, and they will be distributed to your organizations tonight to be handed out to each employee as a sign of our appreciation. Last year, we presented each organization, 14 organizations in total, with a plaque that had the 2021 challenge coin already imprinted and a spot for the 2022 challenge coin. This is an example that is our plaque. And so there will be 2 additional coins with every organization for them to be able to put into that place so they can be honored for 2022. So we want to make sure that all of our organizations are aware that on your plaque, we did not leave those 2 spots out in error, that we were thinking ahead. So next year you all get new plaques with new placements for your challenge coins. And now it is my pleasure to introduce our MC for the evening, Mr. Frank Wells of 103.1 WJMA and 95.3 and 105.5 SAM FM.
All right, good evening, everybody. I'm glad we have the lights because we have some small print here, and I wanted to make sure that I could see and give this information to everybody. Now, we're going to get to some incredible stories of valor in just a little bit, but like Jeff said, we are going to make sure that we get everybody recognized here today. And we're going to start with Culpeper County, the Volunteer Fire Department, company number 1. Now, Culpeper County Volunteer Fire Department was established in January of 1924. The department has been serving the town and county of Culpeper for over 98 years. They have 56 active lifetime members, 6 auxiliary members, and 8 inactive lifetime members dedicated to the protection of life and property in our community. They are dispatched and answered just over 800 calls, or do so each year. Additionally, they participate in training. Those are the monthly drills, the Virginia Department of Fire Program State Certification courses, fire prevention demos, safety talks, station tours, and more. Fire department meetings, parades, work details, cleaning the apparatus, the station, the equipment, and other duties that are needed. In 2021, their personnel donated 15,752 hours of their time, saving the taxpayers of Culpeper $441,056. One event the department remains highly committed to being a part of is the Blue and Red Santa Project, teaming with the Town PD and the Brandy Station Volunteer Fire Department. Each year during the first week in December, they provide over 150 children with essentials and toys as part of the Christmas holidays. As part of that morning's festivities, the families are provided a hot breakfast and an opportunity to visit with Santa. This partnership also provides children in need during the school year with clothing and school supplies at all of our elementary schools. At the time, we would like the representatives in the table with Culpeper County Volunteer Fire Department Company Number 1 to make their way to the stage to get their goodie bag, I guess is what we're calling it here. If we could have Culpeper County Volunteer Fire Department Company Number 1. Culpeper County Volunteer Fire Department Company Number 1. Brandy Station Volunteer Fire Department Company Number 2. Brandy Station Volunteer Fire Department formed in 1951, celebrated its 70th year of service to the community in 2021 last year. Their department is 100% volunteer, consisting of approximately 80 members who work very hard to uphold their mission statement and strive for nothing less than excellence. Their volunteers are driven by a strong desire to help people in their community in the event of an emergency. They volunteer their time, their skills to assist the residents and visitors of their district during fire, rescue, and medical emergencies. Last year, 2021, they approximately ran 795 emergency calls. Their volunteers logged approximately 17,000, whether it be for emergency calls, training, fundraising, or other events. They respond to your emergency 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, free of charge, saving the taxpayers in Culpeper County hundreds of thousands of dollars. Brandy Station continues a long-standing tradition of neighbors helping neighbors and are very active in their community. They are hosting the county's first fire and rescue summer camp for kids next week. Their largest fundraiser, the annual Firemen's Fair and Parade, is scheduled for August 10th through the 13th. Make sure you attend. With an array of other events like the Fall Car Show and the Christmas tree lighting and Christmas light shows available to watch the entire month of December. We would like to honor Brandy Station Volunteer Fire Department Company Number 2. Brandy Station Volunteer Fire Department Company Number 2. The Richardsville Volunteer Fire Department and Rescue Squad Company Number 6. In the late 1960s, tragedy struck a family in Richardsville. A fire in their home cost them their lives. That's when the formation of the Richardsville Volunteer Fire Department and Rescue Squad happened on June 20th, 1970. Their first fire apparatus was a 1949 Mack truck with a 750-gallon per minute pump donated from Silver Hill, Maryland, the fire department in March of 1971. Their first rescue apparatus was a 1968 Cadillac Miller Meteor ambulance limo donated by the Kentland Volunteer Fire Department in Landover, Maryland in October of 1971. Locally, Brandy Station helped with donated equipment and advice on the founding documents and a lot of the administration functions. In 2021, they responded to 100% of their 75 fire, motor vehicle crashes, and water rescue calls, and 99.6% of their 265 medical emergency calls with a staffed ambulance. Their first due area covers 119 square miles. That includes Richardsville, Lignum, Batna Road, part of Elkwood. Their membership is 57 volunteers, 5 fire apparatus, 2 ambulances, and 3 response support vehicles. They have the only water rescue team in the county, which is essential because the station is located between the Rappahannock and Rapidan rivers. We'd like to honor the Richardsville Volunteer Fire Department and Rescue Squad, Company Number 6. Richardsville Volunteer Fire Department and Rescue Squad, Company Number 6. Salem Volunteer Fire and Rescue Company number 8. The Salem Volunteer Fire Department was established in 1979 by members of the local community with a mission of reducing the loss of life and property. The department is staffed entirely by volunteers and currently operates fire and emergency medical services to the citizens in the western end of Culpeper County. Typically, the department runs between 500 and 600 calls annually. Currently, there are 70 volunteers, with 52 of those being first responders. The department also has a juniors program and takes an active interest in fostering the interests of our future fire and rescue volunteers from the youth within the county here. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, they had to find other ways to raise funds for new equipment and to update some of their vehicles. They currently host monthly concerts with food and beverage services where all kitchen proceeds benefit the department. They also have a golf tournament coming up in August and a gun raffle in the works. If you have a desire to help others and you'd like to join their department, volunteers are always needed. You can contact the membership team at 540-825-9112 or email them at salems1208@gmail.com. And we'd like to honor the Salem Volunteer Fire and Rescue Company number 8. Salem Volunteer Fire and Rescue Company number 8. Little Fork Volunteer Fire and Rescue Company number 9. Little Fork Volunteer Fire and Rescue Company 9 has 100 members and responded to 765 incidents in 2021. The company saved $1.7 million in property in the calendar year, an additional $60,200 of saved livestock value. The volunteers expended over 7,000 hours on incidents alone. This does not include the training and, of course, the administrative hours. They have responded to 100% of dispatched fire and EMS calls for the past 10 years. Little Fork Volunteer Fire Rescue Company operates the only 100% volunteer technical large animal rescue team in the Commonwealth of Virginia and responds to calls across Virginia, Maryland, and West Virginia. Let's honor the Little Fork Volunteer Fire and Rescue Company number 9. Little Fork Volunteer Fire and Rescue Company number 9. Rapidan Volunteer Fire Department Company number 10. The Rapidan Volunteer Fire Department has a total of 20 members. They cover Culpeper, Orange, and Madison County 24/7, 365 days a year, free of charge. Rapidan runs approximately 200 calls a year. In the year 2021, their volunteers logged approximately 7,000 hours, consisting of emergency calls, training, fundraising, and meetings. Since the COVID pandemic, they have dissolved their Saturday night bingo and geared towards fundraising by raffles. They will begin having multiple dinners a year starting back in July or this month of 2022. You can follow them on their Facebook page at facebook.com/RapidanVFD to stay up to date on those dinners. We would like to take the time to honor the Rapidan Volunteer Fire Department, Company number 10. The Rapidan Volunteer Fire Department, Company number 10. Culpeper County Volunteer Rescue Squad, Company number 11. The Culpeper County Volunteer Rescue Squad takes great pride in serving the citizens of Culpeper. Since 1942, they have been providing emergency services to our community. Founded by Captain William H. Carper and 20 other men who gave freely of themselves to help their friends and neighbors in a time of need. Company 11, the Volunteer Rescue Squad, had a total of 4,033 calls. Units responded to 2,350 calls and transported 954 patients to the hospital. Company 11 has approximately 90 members, most of which are operational members. And we honor tonight Culpeper County Volunteer Rescue Squad, Company 11. Culpeper County Volunteer Rescue Squad, Company 11. The Culpeper County Office of Emergency Services, Company number 12. Culpeper County Emergency Services is comprised of full-time emergency medical technicians, firefighters, and emergency management professionals. They staff 3 medic units around the clock to provide advanced life support services to the citizens and visitors here in Culpeper County. Their team has a total of 33 people, with 29 of those in the field and responding to the emergencies as needed. During the calendar year of 2021, the department ran 5,100 calls. They also provided emergency management services to the county. The Office of Emergency Management Services is responsible for providing community outreach and disaster preparedness. Other responsibilities include coordinating county-wide response to a disaster situation, ensuring disaster assistance is available to all government agencies, businesses, and the citizens of Culpeper, and providing assistance to managers of various county agencies, playing key roles in disaster response and recovery operations. And tonight we honor the Culpeper County Office of Emergency Services, Company number 12. Culpeper County Office of Emergency Services, Company number 12. Riva Volunteer Fire and Rescue Company, number 16. The Riva Volunteer Fire and Rescue Company was founded in 1995. They have grown from a small group running out of a home garage until the building was constructed to over 40 active fire and rescue personnel, 30 active support members, and 32 lifetime retired members. In the year 2020, Riva Volunteer Fire and Rescue Company responded to 170 total fire calls and 220 total EMS calls. Riva Volunteer Fire and Rescue Company is committed to protecting the life and property of the citizens of Culpeper County and the surrounding areas, to provide instruction and demonstrations in life and fire safety to the public, and to promote positive working relationships between all county fire and rescue companies. And we honor the Riva Volunteer Fire and Rescue Company, number 16. The Culpeper County Public Safety Communications Center. The Culpeper County Public Safety Communications Center was established in 1998 and operated from an old dispatch center across from the courthouse. In 2005, the new dispatch center finished construction and has been operational since. The center currently has 18 emergency communications officials who work various shifts to keep the center staffed 24/7. The communications center works with a minimum staffing of just 3. The center received approximately 100,546 calls in 2021. Approximately 20,780 were placed over 911 lines, and 79,766 came in on the non-emergency lines. Of those calls, their emergency communications operators entered 73,819 calls into their computer-aided dispatch system. And we honor tonight the Culpeper County Public Safety Communications Center. The Culpeper County Public Safety Communications Center. Culpeper County Animal Control. At this time, Culpeper has 5 ACOs and 3 caretakers. Animal Control runs approximately 1,500 to 2,000 calls per year, along with shelter duties. Enforcement of state and county laws pertaining to companion and livestock animals is only one aspect of being an animal control officer. Educating the public on animal care and public safety is a priority when addressing their daily calls. Working with the public to provide avenues to assist them with housing, kenneling, food, and vet care when in need is another aspect of their duties. Helping the people in their community be able to keep and provide for their animals not only comforts the animal owner, it also provides stability and well-being for the animal. Their department has maintained the majority of their officers and shelter staff throughout the years, and we honor Culpeper County Animal Control. Culpeper County Animal Control. Culpeper Town Police Department. The Culpeper Police Department remains an internationally advanced, accredited, full-service law enforcement agency with an authorized staffing of 46 sworn officers and 8 civilian employees. They serve an area of just under 8 square miles and a population of around 20,000 citizens. During the calendar year of 2021, their officers handled over 45,500 calls for service. The department is a dedicated member agency of the Virginia State Police's Blue Ridge Narcotics and Gang Task Force, the U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force, as well as the Central Shenandoah Criminal Justice Academy. Last winter, the Culpeper Police Department helped sponsor over 120 underprivileged children during their annual Blue and Red Santa event in coordination with Culpeper County Volunteer Fire Department, the Virginia State Police, Culpeper Human Services, and Walmart. Now, additionally, the department held a 2-day Pack the Patrol Car event at local businesses to collect multiple carloads of school supplies for our underserved families. On a daily basis, Culpeper Police Department officers are encouraged to interact with the community in small ways. Foot patrols in the parks and downtown, positive interactions with children, social media outreach, demonstrations of their unmanned aerial vehicle drone, and meeting their canine partners are just some of the ways in which officers ensure that the community knows their police departments. A recent addition to their front lobby summarizes the mission of the police department: integrity, service, commitment, and community. And we honor tonight the Culpeper Town Police Department. The Culpeper Town Police Department. The Culpeper County Sheriff's Office. The Culpeper County Sheriff's Office is a nationally accredited full-service law enforcement agency that is committed to safety and service. The Culpeper County Sheriff's Office is responsible for the 383 square miles and approximately 53,000 residents which make up Culpeper County and is dedicated to the community. Additionally, each year they participate in over 400 special events and sponsor and manage a sizable number of community programs and events. Some of those include the Sheriff's Youth Sports Camps, which comprise of football, cheer, soccer, baseball, softball, and new this year, basketball. Other programs included are the Santa Cop Program, Project Lifesaver, House of Worship Watch, Business Watch, the Sheriff's Cadet Program, the Sheriff's Youth Law Enforcement Academy, DARE, Virginia Rules, Culpeper Tow Board, charity basketball games, and everyone's favorite, the Culpeper Christmas Parade. Under the leadership of Sheriff Scott Jenkins, the Culpeper County Sheriff's Office strives to maintain the highest level of readiness. This is done through training and partnerships with other agencies throughout the wide spectrum of government. And tonight we honor the Culpeper County Sheriff's Office. The Culpeper County Sheriff's Office. Virginia State Police. The Virginia State Police Culpeper office handles the counties of Culpeper, Madison, and Orange. There are 10 troopers and 3 supervisors assigned to the area. The Virginia State Police responded to approximately 7,073 calls for service last year. Their primary role is as an assist agency while promoting highway safety, and they value the working relationships that they have formed with local agencies and stakeholders. They continue to participate in many community activities and were able to assist with special events, including the Culpeper Air Fest, the Montpelier Steeplechase Race, and the Drug Take-Back Program sponsored by the DEA. And we honor tonight Virginia State Police. Virginia State Police. Would you please again give all of our departments a big round of applause this evening? All right, ladies and gentlemen, now we get to the stories. It's story time, and that's why I'm invited each and every year, my 5th year, to be with you guys here tonight, and I'm honored. Thank you. Thank you to the Culpeper Chamber as well. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you so much. First up, Little Fork Volunteer Fire and Rescue Company. June 1st, 2021. At approximately 13:30 hours, Little Fork Volunteer Fire and Rescue was dispatched for an entrapment on Rixieville Road. The victim was reported to have their hand trapped by a steel box. Initially, Little Fork and a county medic unit from Culpeper OES were dispatched. Responding units were expecting to find maybe a file cabinet or something along those lines. Ambulance 9-1, Rescue Engine 9, Rescue 9, and Chief 9 responded from Little Fork. Upon arrival, units were surprised to find a young man with his hand trapped between a full-sized steel sea shipping container and a wood block. This situation was not a normal incident, as successful mitigation would cause the extrication team to go above and beyond their normal duties. Chief Monaco established command and called for several additional resources. They included a helicopter and a specialized care unit from Fauquier County. EMS units began initial care and awaited the extrication crew to free the individual. The chief assigned Assistant Chief Mike Strauderman, firefighter Mike Kittis, and firefighter Mike Nelson as the extrication sector team. The crew quickly performed a size-up and developed a plan for lifting the container. The main objective was to lift the container without shifting it, thus causing it further injury to the hand. The steel container weighed over 8,000 pounds. The crew's plan included the use of wood blocks, cribbing, chains, and a heavy-duty web ratchet to both secure the container and stabilize it on several differing points during the lift. They used the adjoining container for additional stabilization. A battery-powered hydraulic spreader was placed under the container to lift it. Once everything was in place, a safety check of all facets was performed by the safety officer. The order to proceed was then given by the extrication sector officer. The container was lifted straight up and the hand was freed. The steel container did not shift nor cause any additional injury to the patient. On scene, EMS units took over care of the patient. He was treated immediately, taken to a landing zone for transport to a trauma center by helicopter. The patient was back home the following day with no permanent injury. This extrication was performed in a timely and flawless manner. The crew utilized all available resources to make this rescue a success. They were professional in all aspects of the scenario and took that into account with their action plan. And tonight, we honor Little Fork Volunteer Fire and Rescue members, Assistant Chief Crew Mike Strauderman, Firefighter Mike Kittis, and Firefighter Mike Nelson with your Valor Award. E911, June 10th and 11th, 2021. beginning around 1930 hours and lasting through the end of their shift at 0600 hours. June 10th, 2021, about an hour and a half into their 12-hour shift, Kayla, Sylvia, and Keenan received a weather warning from Culpeper County for severe thunderstorms in effect. The warning was dispatched and announced to all Culpeper County responders. About 20 minutes later, the first weather-related call came into the center. A citizen called in to advise that their house was flooding and they needed help immediately. Missy quickly made her way into the center to assist her team, knowing this was going to be a busy shift. Over the next 10 hours, the shift received 326 inbound phone calls and dispatched a total of 30 different weather-related events, including 11 reports of high water over the roadway, 7 homes that were flooding, 2 house fires, 2 homes that smelled something burning, and possible gas leaks, 3 water rescues, a fire alarm in a house, 2 reports of wires down, 1 with a transformer on fire, a motor vehicle accident with injuries, and a request for mutual aid to assist with another structure fire. Sleepy Hollow Motel and Trailer Park was flooded and needed boat rescues to safety. School buses were called out to transport several families who needed to be relocated. 2 occupied vehicles were swept off the road and were floating into nearby trees. The drivers climbed out of their vehicles and were standing on top, begging us to send someone as soon as possible. One driver with a cell phone about to run out of a battery. Many roads became impassable, which caused longer routes for responders. This may not seem like a lot of calls to handle during a 10-hour period, but each of these incidents were in addition to the normal incoming calls for service. These unusual calls came in one right after the other, many overlapping the one before it. The citizens calling in for help were panicked and difficult to understand. The weather conditions and incidents were very dangerous for the responders, all of which made the shift more demanding of the dispatcher and call taker skills, excuse me. These young ladies are passionate about their career in public safety communications. Each one of them cares about the safety of the responders and citizens, as well as providing the best possible service for every single call. They are loyal to the headset and deserve to be recognized for the amazing job they do every day, but especially in this very difficult shift. We would like to honor Kayla, Sylvia, and Keenan for E911 as our Valor Award recipients. And Missy too, come on up. The Sheriff's Department. On December 17th, 2021, Culpeper law enforcement officers were involved in a search for an individual as to whom a temporary detention order had been issued. Evidently, the subject made his way to Madison County, where Madison deputies made contact with him. During this encounter, the subject failed to comply with the deputies' orders. The subject fired shots at the deputies, and a pursuit began. This began the subject's multi-jurisdictional rampage in which he deliberately targeted and tried to kill innocent civilians and the nominated deputies. Several Madison units were in pursuit on Route 231 into Rappahannock County. During this pursuit, the subject fired more shots at the Madison deputies. Some of the subject's rounds struck their vehicles. Despite the immediate danger to their lives posed by the subject's gunfire, the deputies continued the pursuit. During this portion of the pursuit, the subject also fired multiple shots at a propane delivery truck, jeopardizing the truck driver, numerous people in nearby vehicles, and everyone that would have been endangered by the resulting devastation had that propane truck exploded or crashed. While being pursued, the subject also drove into the opposite lane of traffic several times and nearly collided with oncoming civilian vehicles. Deputies observing the subject's erratic behavior concluded that he was shooting at the vehicles and swerving repeatedly into the oncoming lane in a deliberate attempt to kill the innocent occupants of those vehicles. After pursuing the subject some miles into Rappahannock County, the subject reversed direction after evading an attempt to stop him and proceeded southbound until he turned left onto Slate Mills Road. Madison deputies, still in pursuit on Slate Mills Road, observed the subject fire more shots, including shooting directly at a homeowner on Slate Mills Road. Deputies concluded that the subject was deliberately attempting to kill the deputies and other innocent people at whom he was shooting at. By the time the pursuit again reached Rappahannock County, a radio patch was in place that allowed all involved jurisdictions to hear radio traffic in real time. Culpeper County units responded from the direction of Route 522, and Rappahannock County deputies responded from the direction of Round Hill Road. The subject went to the right on Green Road and became temporarily stuck in the front yard of a home. While stuck there, the subject fired shots at a person in the yard, deliberately targeting them. The subject also fired shots at two deputies, attempting to kill them. After becoming unstuck, the subject returned to Slate Mills Road, heading towards the deputies, approaching from the opposite direction. Rappahannock deputies took up a stationary position at the intersection of Slate Mills Road and Round Hill Road, taking cover behind his patrol vehicle with his M4 service rifle. Rappahannock deputies, hearing the radio traffic, knew that the subject was armed and had been firing at other deputies and civilians. As the subject's truck came down the hill towards his position, the deputy could see muzzle flashes from the subject's vehicle as it approached. As the subject passed the Rappahannock deputy's position, the subject fired into his patrol vehicle, impacting the driver's door multiple times. The Rappahannock deputy fired his M4 rifle, aiming at the muzzle flashes coming from the subject's truck. The subject continued. Once the subject passed the Rappahannock deputy, pursued in the direction of Route 522. While the pursuit was ongoing, Culpeper units, having tracked the pursuit through radio traffic, proceeded to a position just inside Rappahannock County where they could intercept and stop the subject. While traveling at high speeds to that position, Sergeant Mausley's vehicle crashed while navigating a turn, completely destroying his vehicle and rendering it inoperable. Despite having just seen or been in a major crash, Sergeant Mausley put the public safety above his own immediate well-being because of the imminent danger posed by the subject and the urgency of stopping him. Rather than allowing the crash to interfere with his sworn deputy, Sergeant Mausley willingly got into another unit's vehicle, and they both continued to the position to intercept the subject. Sergeant Mausley and Deputy Earnshaw and Detective Spicer set up separate stationary positions approximately a quarter mile from where the Rappahannock deputy had pursued the subject heading towards Route 522. As the subject approached the Culpeper units, he fired rifle rounds from an AK-47 style pistol at the Culpeper units, particularly targeting Detective Spicer's position. The subject's rounds struck multiple patrol vehicles. The targeted Culpeper units, in the face of rapid-fire AK-47 pistol rounds coming at them from the subject's truck, returned fire, aiming at the muzzle flashes. The subject's vehicle immediately crashed and remained stationary. Upon approaching the subject's crashed vehicle, Detective Spicer, Sergeant Mausley, and Detective Earnshaw observed the subject was obviously incapacitated. Taking proper precautions, they immediately secured the subject, began performing life-saving measures, and called for emergency medical services. It was discovered that the subject had an AK-style pistol and a handgun in his vehicle. The bravery of these deputy sheriffs in responding to and ultimately stopping the threat posed by the subject's actions cannot be overstated. They were involved in what was essentially a 3-county running gun battle with a subject that repeatedly and persistently targeted innocent civilians and responding units. The subject deliberately shot at a propane truck, tried to crash head-on into oncoming civilian vehicles, and shot at homeowners in their yards. The subject repeatedly fired at pursuing units as rounds struck multiple patrol cars and vehicles. Despite the subject's persistent efforts to kill responding deputies and innocent bystanders, these brave deputies, after eliminating the threat, quickly transitioned to performing life-saving measures. Acting in the face of the deadly threat posed by the subject's continuing choices, these deputies continually prioritized innocent lives and public safety above their own well-being. They acted bravely, unflinchingly, and decisively in circumstances that would have tested the best of us. They did so in a way that effectively stopped the threat, saved lives, and secured public safety. Then, in accordance with their training, they performed life-saving measures on the subject that they knew had repeatedly tried to kill their fellow deputies and innocent civilians. In the face of a clear and present threat of being killed or seriously wounded by the subject, the deputies displayed extraordinary bravery and valor. We would like to honor Sergeant Mausley and Deputy Earnshaw and Detective Spicer from the Culpeper County Sheriff's Department with our Valor Award tonight. Culpeper County Emergency Services, Company 12. On October 23rd of last year, EMT Mike Barrett and paramedic John Woodburn of Medic 12-3 were dispatched for an unresponsive male at the Planet Fitness Gym just after 1 p.m. Upon arrival, the patient was found near the free weights, unresponsive, not breathing, and he had no pulse. The crew quickly radioed in that they had a CPR in progress and began chest compressions and ventilations while getting more equipment from their ambulance. Hearing the call was now a CPR in progress. A second unit began responding. Lieutenant Ryan Switzer began responding on Medic 12-4. The crew of 12-3 used a life pack to determine the patient was in ventricular tachycardia. Okay, you guys, you know that one. I practiced that, I promised. With no palpable pulse and defibrillated the patient, CPR was resumed. Now, the second ambulance crew then arrived and began helping place the Lucas device on the patient to take over chest compressions and get an IV access to give medications. With the second rhythm check, the patient was found to be a second time. CPR was continued. We won't try that one. With the third rhythm check, the patient was again found for a third time in that same position. The crews then decided to attempt to transport the patient to Culpeper Medical Center's ER. Since the crews then decided to attempt a transport, the patient had been in shockable rhythms all through CPR. The crews continued CPR using the Lucas device and a bag valve mask to give breaths. The crews placed the patient on a Reeves sleeve to move the patient onto the stretcher. He was then moved to the ambulance. Once the patient was in the ambulance, a fourth rhythm check was performed showing an organized heart rhythm, and it was confirmed, that the patient now had a pulse. The crew continued to assist with respirations and give medications to help keep the patient's blood pressure and heart rate up while transporting to Culpeper Hospital. Before the ambulance arrived at the hospital, the patient began to moan and breathe on his own. At the time, they transferred care to Culpeper's hospital ER room. The patient was conscious and was able to speak a couple of words. He was further stabilized at the hospital before being transferred to VCU Hospital, where he was able to make a full recovery. Following the recovery, the patient and his wife visited with the crews back in June to say thank you for a job well done. EMT Mike Barrett, paramedic John Woodburn, and Lieutenant Ryan Switzer, our Valor recipients this evening. And last, folks, the Culpeper Town Police Department Valor Award. On January 29th of this year at 7:24, the Culpeper County Public Safety Communications Center began taking calls for a shooting that had just occurred with a victim suffering from a gunshot wound. The victim had shown up to a residence after running from the gunman. Officer Mike Torrance arrived and found a male suffering from a single gunshot to the upper thigh with a severe bleed. Her instinct, coupled with her Miller Torrance, I'm sorry. There it is, all right. Her instinct, coupled with her training, went immediately into effect. She applied a tourniquet to the male in order to control the bleeding, all while checking the scene or the shooter and securing it for incoming medical emergency personnel. The victim was eventually flown to UVA Charlottesville Medical Center, where he was treated and eventually released. Due to Officer Torrance's bravery and instincts, she was able to control the bleeding and potentially saving the victim's life while securing the scene and ensuring the shooter was no longer a threat. Valor is defined by vocabulary.com as a hero who exhibits courage and boldness in the face of danger. This officer clearly exhibited courage and boldness during this and other difficult and chaotic scenes. Due to her valor, instincts, and reliance on training, the victim is alive today. Every day, police officers place the safety and well-being of others above their own. This incident highlights and brings to light one of the daily duties where police officers place themselves in peril to assist others in their greatest time of need. And we honor Officer Miller Torrance from the Culpeper Town Police Department with our Valor Award this evening. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for all of our Valor recipients this evening.
Every time Frank reads those stories, I get goosebumps. I mean, they're all extraordinary and just amazing how they put the community above themselves. And it's just incredible to me to hear all these acts of valor that these first responders are able to accomplish, and we just simply say, thank you. We'd also like to say thank you to our committee who helped put this evening together. If I could ask the Valor Committee to please rise. And I'd like to give a special thank you to our Director of Programming and Operations, Amy Frazier, and our Office Administrator, Yvonne Letzum, for helping make tonight happen. I say this a lot, and I'm reminded that I say this a lot, but we truly are Culpeper strong. And it's because of individuals like these first responders that go above and beyond every day in helping keep our communities safe. And is the smallest thing we can do is simply to say thank you. And if somebody comes away from our community learning a little bit more about our first responders and the work that they do, I consider that a job well done for our first responders to be able to be recognized. So once again, thank you for coming out tonight. Thank you for honoring our first responders, and we are Culpeper Strong.
Amen.